Hello everyone, my name is Chance Brunton and welcome back to StarCraft II Wings of Liberty campaign. In the last episode we saved a bunch of colonists from the planet Agria, and in this episode we are going to visit the planet Monolith, which contains Protoss and relics.
The Mobius boys think there's another artifact in a world called Monolith. Supposedly there's Protoss guarding it. A group of fanatics call themselves the Tal'Darim. Now don't get all sentimental thinking these Tal'Darim are your old Protoss buddies, because they ain't.
Okay, so we get 110,000 credits. There's 4 possible Protoss research, depending on whether we get the bonus objectives, and we are going to get the Marauder, which is a heavy infantry unit.
There it is, Jimmy. Just like Mobius said. Easy money.
I don't know. There's a lot of Protoss down there. We're gonna have to... What the?
Warning. Multiple Zerg biosignatures detected.
Ah, hell.
Them critters were just hiding underground, waiting?
No idea, but you can bet they're headed straight for our shrine.
Well, that show complicates things. We can't fight 2 armies at once, partner.
With any luck, we won't have to. We only need to hold the area at the top of the shrine long enough to extract the artifact. So we'll land here and cut our way through the Protoss lines while they're busy with the Zerg. It's only a matter of time before the Zerg overwhelm the Protoss. We'd best grab the artifact and be long gone by then.
The Zerg will always win in a situation where they can just continually bombard the enemy defenses. At some point, you just can't keep replenishing, but the Zerg can always keep replenishing. That is truly what's horrifying about the Zerg. So we're going to pit the Protoss and the Zerg against each other, or well, they're already against each other, so we don't need to pit anything, but we're going to take advantage of the situation and swoop in. Now, one thing that is nice about having Marauders for this mission is that the Marauder, being good against heavily armored things, or just more difficult to take out things, is that it's good against a lot of stuff the Protoss has. So as the Protoss try and defend the shrine from us as well, then the Marauder will really help us fight back. And we'll get to see that in a minute when Swan introduces them to help us against the one of the mainstays of the Protoss army, which is the Stalker, which is going to be coming up and attacking us pretty soon. You'll see a couple of Protoss units that are important.
The Zerg severely outnumber the Protoss forces. It is likely the Protoss will fall shortly.
So these frontline guys...
Then we've got to get that artifact before the Zerg overrun the whole place.
Warning. Protoss stalkers are gathering at our perimeter.
What's so?
Incoming transmission.
I got something new for you, cowboy. Marauders, the latest word in big bada boom hardware.
I ain't sure this is the best time to be experimenting, Swan.
Best time there is. Let the Marauders loose against those stalkers and you'll see.
Now, well, I'll explain it after this. So you can see the Marauders are going to deal really heavy damage to the Stalkers and just rip them apart. The Marines really aren't doing nearly as much as the Stalkers, as the Marauders are doing. But I'm still loading the Marauders into the bunkers to try and keep them safe. And you'll notice that Marauders I can stim just like I can stim the Marines. I can stim Marauders and Marines when they're in bunkers, and when medics are in the bunkers, they will heal the medics and any other units really that are inside. Notice if I stim here, you can see the health deplete on these units, which is signified by their coing other colors than green, yellow for slightly damaged and red for very damaged. And then as soon as they go yellow, the medic heals them up to green. That does deplete some of our energy, but it still helps them. I'm going to test something. I'm going to have this Marauder damage this bunker.
Don't leave me hanging.
And then... no. Okay. So the SCV inside the bunker is not repairing the bunker from the inside. So that's okay. That just means that we cannot have our repairing SCVs inside the bunkers. So now I need to start building up my forces again. I need to get some Vespene going, I need to train some more workers, and I need to fully block off
Warning.
this entrance.
Incoming Zerg attack wave detected.
Great. I can put I'll put a supply depot here, and then I can put a bunker next to it in a minute.
Roger that.
I should have plenty, though. I can stim my units just to make my defenses extra powerful temporarily.
Go on.
And it really doesn't hurt because I have the medics healing back up the stim. Okay, and so now we'll get my forces trained back up, get some additional... Oh, I'm supply blocked. The life story of anybody playing StarCraft and just continually supply blocked. Okay, well, now once I get moving out here, I am going to need to get these things here. You can see these are Protoss relics. I'm not sure if they all look exactly like that, but if not, then they look something like pretty similar. And I need to get those for the extra bonus research points. But it's going to be a while here, I think, before I have enough troops to start moving out, which is a bit of a problem, actually, because I am on a timer here. So I'm going to put an extra supply depot here, instead of putting a barracks where I was planning to complete the block. And the reason for that is because I don't want to actually start filling those barracks with units just yet, because I need units to actually make an army. I also need more minerals, so I should send that one SCV back off to mine minerals faster and pull this SCV behind my defenses. In fact, I could actually just kind of run out, I think, and grab this one Protoss relic because it's right there, and then run back. This is the brave SCV that's going to get commendations afterwards for having done that, even though really I don't think he was in all that much danger. But oh, just as I say that, we are in fact attacked by the Zerg, so there was some risk that he was going to run into that group. And I'm going to stim just so I can take them out extra fast. I have a medic in each bunker, so that medic should heal my troops up, and in the lull between battles, regenerate its energy. So it really doesn't cost me too much in the long run. I'm going to save up an extra 50 minerals here, and then buy the war pigs, because they are a more efficient troop to buy. They have more health and damage for the money. I think, actually. I haven't never actually calculated it, but they seem pretty good. And I need to continue to train workers. Again, you see this counter above my command center tells me I have 13 out of 21 possible workers harvesting these minerals. And above the Vespene geyser, I have 1 out of 3 possible workers harvesting Vespene. So I could definitely expand my harvesting operation considerably. And my composition now is lacking medics.
Not enough minerals.
I could also do with some fire bats to deal with Zerg. But more importantly, I think Marines. But I'm pumping Marines out now out of a reactor, so I'm getting them 2 at a time. So I think they should be fine. Now one thing I should... One thing I should get is an engineering base so that I can upgrade my weapons and my armor sooner rather than later. That will allow me to more efficiently trade my units.
Additional supply depots.
And of course I'm supply blocked. I need more supply depots. So I'll just start building those up here. Anywhere really will do. I just need them somewhere. Do I have enough forces to move out yet? Maybe, maybe not. But I am supply blocked, so I think I'll try moving out with what I've got. A little bit worried about it, because it doesn't seem like a great deal of units, but we'll see. And I don't need a second one of those. I accidentally built another engineering bay, or tried to. I need another supply depot. So I will queue that up and start building it, and I'm watching my money. Oh, those vine crawler, spine crawlers are ripping me apart. Oh, this was not good. This was not good. This was not good. This was too early to go out. This was too early. Ow. Okay, I just lost a lot. But my economy is getting stronger, and the stronger my economy gets, the faster I can replenish. And I can start upgrading my weapons now, I think, so that I can deal with situations like that more easily. Next time, I want some fire bats before I go out to help me deal with those Zerglings. So I'm training a fire bat now. I can train some more Marines. And I'm training some Marauders. I have a medic. My composition will be a little bit fuller next time I go out.
Go ahead.
And I will get these idle SCVs to just start mining some minerals. Apart from the one guy who's manning my defenses at the front line. And with those extra minerals, I can rebuild a bit better. I need more medics, I think.
Not enough minerals.
Do I need a tech lab for medics? I think so. Yes, I do need a tech lab for medics. I did not purchase the upgrade that allows me to build medics without a tech lab. So that means I can't build them 2 at a time from the reactor. So I really should be building them from the tech lab right away because it's going to take a while to accumulate a good number of them. And I've got 3 Marauders, and I should have at least, I think, maybe 2 Firebats. 2 would be a good number. Oh. Looking up to the north, though, we see that the Zerg is making very good progress against the Protoss. It's not going to be long before the Zerg make it to the artifact. And I think if the Zerg make... I'm not actually sure what happens if the Zerg make it to the artifact before we do. I'm not sure if that's an instant loss, or that just makes it a lot harder for us to get the artifact, or how exactly that works.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
But, at any rate, I don't want to find out. So I'm going to start moving out. Now, I started moving out to the left before because I know that there is some tech out to the left that I want to grab. Oh no, oh no, dodge down, dodge down. Don't attract their attention. Oh no, 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 no. Oh well, we're doing better. Oh, see, these roaches are the heavier, tankier units. I may have mentioned it before, but these Marauders that we've now got do very well against the roaches. We have, unfortunately, lost our medics, so I'm not sure that it would be wise to push forward, but I kind of want to be done with the left-hand side here, so I'm going to try pushing forward anyway. This is probably a very bad idea. So those are photon cannons, those are static defenses for the Protoss, and I have to focus fire these stalkers one at a time, concentrating my damage so that I can kill them more effectively, and I may or may not have enough damage to kill this one last stalker. Ah, I just did. So I can grab this Protoss relic and retreat out of here and start rebuilding my forces again. Now, on the bright side, I think that I am done fighting the Zerg now, apart from the ones that come towards my base. I think that now I just have to push towards the Protoss. That is, of course, assuming that I get to the relic before the Protoss are overrun by the Zerg. Because if the Protoss are overrun, assuming that I don't lose the mission, then I will need to fight the Zerg for the relic. But let's really hope it does not come to that. And I have a lot of minerals and very little Vespene gas. So that means that I need another barracks with another reactor on it so that I can train even more Marines. And it would also be a good idea for me to build more supply depots so that I can train more units, period.
Yeah, whatever.
So I'll just tell this SCV to build a lot of supply depots. Can I call down... I can call down some more war pigs. As soon as I have a supply depot finished, I can do that. And then I think I have a sufficiently large force to march out across the map. I can also upgrade my armor. The sooner I do that, the better. I should have hopped on that as soon as I had the resources, but I forgot about it until just now. Oh, my guys are getting torn into by mutalisks that attack from the side. I have enough to hold it off. I think I took some unnecessary casualties there, which is unfortunate, but we can replace them with war pigs, so it's okay for the moment. Now, what do I need? What do I need? I've got 3 Marauders. Is that enough? I'd like to have more. I'd also like to have more medics. Marines, I think I'm okay on the number of Marines I have, actually. But I'm waiting on other things anyway. Or should I be waiting? That's another thing, because it's like, the Zerg... the Zerg Hydralisks are getting in front of the Zerglings and not allowing them to go through. So that was pretty dumb on their part. But they still won out in the end, because they had superior numbers, but still, it was nice while it lasted. But they are making big progress, and they're tearing into the main base. I don't have long. I've got to go. I've really got to go. So I am just going to rush out and do that right now. This zealot's just going to get annihilated. Actually, he lasted pretty well, considering how much he's up against. I guess that's just brutal difficulty. This crystal here was a pylon all Protoss buildings need to be powered in order to function properly. So these pylons provide power for example, the Protoss cannons. So if I can run up and snipe the pylons, then the cannons cease to be effective. And oh! I should have seen that one coming. I didn't think to be worried about... Oh, no, 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 no.
Upgrade.
Okay, so that's called a psionic storm. It's made by this spellcasting guy back there. He pulled that out, and it does massive damage to lightly armored units like Marines and medics. It's really bad for Marauders too. It's basically really bad for everybody involved. I really wish I hadn't run into that. As you can see, it did devastating damage to my army. Oh, no, 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 no! I ran into another one! It's really hard not to run into those. Oh, man. Oh, no! The Mutalisks! Mutalisks! Run towards my defenses and hopefully get the Mutalisks will attack those. Oh. And go up and kill that guy! Kill them all! So, oh, the other units were sentries. One of the things they can do is create this temporary barrier that was problematic for me. I need some more medics to heal up my army.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
So yeah, they can create temporary barriers. I really need more Vespene gas, but I'm harvesting it as fast as I can. I also need more turrets in case those Mutalisks come back, actually. I just realized that. I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to tell some SCVs to build a few turrets.
Warning. The Zerg have begun extracting the artifact.
Oh, no. Okay, so, from the sounds of it then, if I don't get there very soon, then I am about to lose the mission. Oh, this is so hard. Okay. Well, you know, I was thinking I could build down there to next time to help improve my ability to hold off the Zerg, but it really wouldn't help all that much. So I can come in, I can seize this artifact, which is honestly probably not worthwhile at the moment, unless I'm sure I'm going to replay the mission, which at this rate, I'm probably going to have to. I really need to be... I could train more Marines. I have the resources. I just don't have the production facilities, but I'm running out of room in my base to actually build production facilities. Still. Okay, well, my army's health is getting pretty good, because these medics are healing me up more. The Protoss are almost completely overwhelmed, except for, of course, the Protoss standing between me and the enemy base. Some Zerg got in before I was able to close the door. I still haven't been able to close the door. I need to stim. And I might be losing my base here. So I need to run forward, and I need to just do as much damage as I can. Oh, the Zerg are really close. The Zerg are really close. The ancient defenses are starting to kick in, and these Archons are ripping me to shreds. I do not have the composition to deal with these Archons. That's those big glowing balls of light. Oh, I wish the Protoss would just give this to me. It's like, it's either me or the Zerg. Mission failed. The Zerg have captured the artifact. Load last checkpoint. I'm gonna have to be more aggressive. Oh, this is very tricky, and I wish I had more tools and upgrades at my disposal to be able to do this. But, you know, it is brutal difficulty. That's what you get for trying to do this on brutal. I may have to lower the difficulty. That's something I forgot to mention earlier, is you can change the difficulty at any time you want. I'm choosing to do it on brutal. I think that this is a little bit too late in the mission, actually, because I have already taken some heavy losses at this point. And I think that's severely damaging my ability to survive. So I am going to actually just restart the mission from the beginning. See here, I could change my difficulty if I want to, but I don't want to. So I want to try and do it on brutal. I'm going to go back and start from the beginning. I'm going to build up my forces. Well, I think mostly I need to be careful about that storm, because I had a lot of troops that I lost to that psionic storm. So one thing I can do is I can run some troops in and try and bait him into using it and dodge out of the way, because he has a certain amount of energy, that High Templar, and he expends it every time he casts that. So if I bait him into casting it prematurely, he'll essentially run out of ammo. And then I can charge them. So I could be a little bit smarter about that. I could also be a little bit smarter in that first... early on, I lost some troops to the Zerg when I first tried to take the Protoss relic to the left. And I think that I could have been smarter.
Zerg severely outnumber the Protoss forces. It is likely the Protoss will fall shortly.
Then we've got to get that artifact before the Zerg overrun the whole place.
I could have been smarter about my timing on that.
Warning. Protoss stalkers are gathering at our perimeter.
This better be good.
Incoming transmission.
I got something new for you, cowboy. Marauders, the latest word in big bada-boom hardware.
I ain't sure this is the best time to be experimenting, Swan.
Best time there is. Let the Marauders loose against those stalkers and you'll see.
I could have been smarter on my timing by waiting for the attack to be over. Dodge this Marauder back if he gets too low. Oh, that's too low.
Don't leave me hanging.
I'm gonna switch him out for the healthy one in the bunker because I have a medic in the bunker who can heal him up while he's in there. And I can start training some units. I need to keep training some SCVs, and I also need to be worried about getting supply box. So I'm going to build a supply depot, both as a door and to increase my supply cap. So I could have been smarter about my timing about the last one. I don't think I've actually gotten that thought out, which is that I think that the Zerg were coming to attack me anyway, and so I ran into them when I didn't have... I don't want to run into their mobile parties if they're coming to my defenses, because I'd rather fight them at my defenses. And they got rid of my mobile army. So I think if I wait until the Zerg have already just attacked me, then I go out, I'm not going to run into such a heavy force with my away party. So that's something I could do to help out.
Warning. Incoming Zerg attack wave detected.
I think that those are basically the two things that I really need to do. Because if I could just have less losses, if I could be better about saving up my troops, then I think I would survive just fine. So, at any rate, I'm going to keep doing this. I'll fast forward to the next interesting thing that happens, whether it's back to where I was before or anything else, so that you don't have to sit through all the same material over again. So, I'll see you soon.
The doctor is in.
Why not? Of course.
Okay, that was a much more successful
Got it.
retrieval of the artifact.
Sure does.
Assuming I get home safely.
Sure. Been waiting on you. Why not? Go, go, go! Oh, yeah.
Additional supply depots required.
Sure. It's about to get heavy.
Additional supply depots required.
No, he's just gonna decimate me when I get up there.
Why not?
Please state the nature of your medical emergency.
Oh, I'm running out of time. Again.
Go on.
Come on. Use your Sonic Storm.
The doctor is in.
Blast it. He's too smart.
This better be.
Is it critical? Must be an emergency.
You gonna give me orders?
This is gonna suck.
I'm on
Well, at
it.
least
Keep your shirt
maybe
on.
if I don't get blocked in. Oh, those sentries, they can keep this up for a while.
Looking forward to
I
it.
don't have the luxury of
Additional
time.
supply depots.
Outstanding.
Oh, I can reach those pylons from here. That'll help. Oh, yeah. If I don't just run in like an idiot, if I just take out these pylons from a distance, I can't stem the Marauders?
Just say
In multiplayer, I can stem the Marauders. Oh, okay. Apparently, I can only stem Marines. Who knew? Okay.
Base.
I think I'm just gonna have to run for it, because I don't have time for this.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Got it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay, that sucked.
The doctor is in.
I can pull in some reinforcements now.
let's have a blast.
Okay, let's try and get this relic.
Gangway.
The doctor is in.
Yes, sir.
The doctor is in.
Gangway. Coming
Better.
through.
better.
You got it.
But the Zerg are imminently about to take over.
Waiting on.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Okay, and we're back. With plus a couple of cutscenes from, or a couple, not cutscenes, but a couple of shots from before. So I have a slightly better force at this point. I've been a little bit more cost-effective on my units, although, as you'll have seen, I did not do quite as well as I had hoped I would with that psionic storm. But even so, I'm not doing too bad. Hopefully I've got enough to just power my way through this.
The artifact.
I'm going to take heavy casualties in here, but I do appear to have just enough. Now the question is, do I have enough for what is to come?
Sure thing.
Because this isn't everything. And wait, I've got 3 out of 4 Protoss relics. Where's the 4th one? Oh, the 4th one's over there. Okay.
Coming through.
I need to go get the 4th one.
Roger that.
Then I'll have them all.
Can't wait.
The Zerg are trying to take the artifact, or there will be shortly, so I don't have a lot of time. Okay, got the last relic. And the Protoss are trying to rebuild this base. It's like, no, it's a little bit late for that, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Oh no. The Zerg...
Warning. The Zerg have begun extracting the artifact.
So have we! So have we! I got the little green thing. Now I just need to kill these stone statues. For which I can stim, and then attack them, and okay, I've got more than enough. I can destroy these stone statues which spring to life. That's the ancient Protoss defense. And now, the artifact is mine. And I got all the
I
research
got a crew coming down to pick up the artifact.
on brutal difficulty at like 1 in the morning with my brain fried. Oh yeah.
Got what we came for. Let's hightail it out of here.
Granted, it like
I
took 2
forgot
attempts.
how resourceful you were, Jim. I won't make that mistake twice.
Kerrigan.
That's Sarah Kerrigan, who I've mentioned a couple times before. She was the red-haired girl in the photo. From the first episode, and maybe the second. At any rate, we managed to do this pretty well. Took 20 minutes game time, which is some significant amount more than it actually took. Took 20 minutes game time, it probably took 16 real time. But anyway, so now, that was hard, but we've gotten more resources out of it. Hyperion Archive, 2032 shipboard time.
That's funny, convict. I don't recall giving you access to our database.
Just keeping up on current events, Captain. Seems this Queen of Blades got everybody running scared. She don't look so tough.
You have no idea who she is, do you, Tychus?
Don't matter to me none.
Well, it matters to Jim. They were close once.
Wait a minute. You're telling me they were shacked up?
Apparently she was something else. Before the Zerg took her. Turned her into that.
And Jimmy feels responsible.
Honestly, if we have to face her again, I don't know what he'll do.
Woman like that, there's only one thing to do.
So the reason that she's like that, I will point out, is because Mengsk left her to die. He used her for a mission, and he left her.
I caught Tychus hacking into our database, sniffing around about Kerrigan. I don't know what his game is, but we clearly can't trust him.
Matt, me and Tychus ran together a long time. Got in all sorts of trouble. When the law finally caught up, he took the rap for both of us. Never once ratted me out. I got a second chance. He got locked up.
I understand your loyalty, sir, but...
I owe him, Matt. Leave it be.
Yes, sir.
So when Minsk abandoned Kerrigan, that's when we figured out, in the original StarCraft, what an evil bastard he is. So, ooh... Oh, no, wait. That's not what I thought it was. Yeah, you can see some upgrades and things unlocked in the upper left-hand corner, but we do have the laboratory, actually, so that is still pretty exciting. So let's go take a look at that right away.
Commander, the alien artifact is all secure in the lab, sir. You know, seeing it got me to thinking about my special projects.
Whoa, slow down, Stedman. What do you mean, projects? You doing some kind of research down here?
Of course.
Yeah, well, you know, not yet, sir. I still need some additional specimens to get things going. Once I get those, we can make some big improvements to our weapon systems and tactics.
Well, I'm all for that. What do you need?
All kinds of things. I've entered the details into our database. If you run into something on a mission that we need, you'll be notified automatically.
Just try not to blow up the ship, okay, Stedman?
No promises. Alright, so, we've got a lot of people down here. We can see Dr. Hansen helping out. We'll check out this stuff in a minute, but for right now, let's take a look at the research console. That's the most interesting thing here. So this is the equivalent to the console in the armory that allows us to upgrade our troops, and here we can unlock new techs. Now, the tech tree is divided in a couple of ways. First off, the big division is that there's Protoss research progress, and there's Zerg research progress. So this is where the difference in Zerg research points and Protoss research points comes in. Right now, you can see that we have 5, or actually I think maybe 6 Zerg research points. So we have reached the 5 threshold for the first upgrade, but we only have 4 research points for the Protoss, so we don't have quite enough yet for the first tier of technology. Now, within each tree, there are 2 sides to the tree, a left and a right. Now, the techs on the same level that are on the tree, left and right, are mutually exclusive. We can only take one. So for an example, let's look at the selection we can make currently. It would take too long to go through all of these possibilities, so we'll tackle them as they come up. So for right now, we have 2 options. Shrike Turret. So this is a turret that goes onto all our bunkers, that deals some extra damage. So you can see in the little movie playing in the top center of the screen, even though these bunkers are completely unmanned, there's no extra firing coming out of them, they can still deal with several Zerglings using the power of just the turrets mounted on the bunkers. So that could be some really useful additional firepower. Alternatively, we can get Fortified Bunker, which adds additional life. So you can see this one bunker, without repair, holds up for a long time against the Ultralisks beating on it, which is quite impressive because the Ultralisks do a lot of damage. So, interesting question, basically, do we want more attack or do we want more defense? Well, right now, I am really having trouble keeping my bunkers alive, to keep the units inside alive and doing damage. So I think that perhaps additional life on the bunker would really help with that. So we'll research that. Now, once I get this, Fortified Bunker, I cannot get the turret for the rest of the game. And the choice is completely irreversible, so they want to make sure that I want to do that. So yes, I will confirm, and now forever, this is my choice. At least on this playthrough. I could play through again and choose something else if I wanted to, so that adds some element of replayability. So now that we've done that, we've got 150,000 credits. Before we start talking to people, let's just have a look at all our upgrades. Here's the Armory console. So what have we unlocked this time? Well, in addition to the upgrades we had before, we have now upgrades to our Marauder. we can get concussive shells, which slow enemy units around where the Marauder fires, or we can add additional life to the Marauders so they're a bit tankier. Now, concussive shells are really powerful, as we can see in this video down here. These Protoss zealots can't even make it to the Marauders because they've been slowed. So the Marauders just have a load of time to fire at them. That's just really useful in all kinds of situations, so I definitely want to get that at some point. However, that does beg an interesting question, which is that medics have stabilizer. The medics have stabilizer med packs, which heal faster and more efficiently. Do I want to get that instead? Stabilizer med packs is really expensive, and for that matter, concussive shells isn't cheap. So we can't afford to get both. So the question is, which one? Which one? I think concussive shells only slows movement speed, so things that are already attacking, that doesn't help much against. And medics not only heal faster, they have more efficient use of energy. I think I want to upgrade the medics. Also, Marauders aren't as useful against the Zerg, although the Roaches do make them more useful, but I would say that they're more useful against the Protoss, if anything. And so, medics are just equally valuable everywhere. So with that out of the way, let's look at people who actually have something to say real quick.
Are you alright, sir? Confronting Kerrigan again after all these years.
We've got to stop her, Matt. No matter what she's after.
Well, we gave her a setback today. The artifacts are obviously important to her. I just wish we knew why.
That would be a very good thing to know.
Your Mobius buddies ever happen to mention that the Queen of Blades wants these artifacts too?
Hey, they just give me the missions, man. What's it matter anyway? Putting that bitch down would be doing everyone a favor.
I thought it was just about the money with you, Tychus.
Nothing says I can't do my part for humanity and get paid well for my trouble.
Right.
This is Donnie Vermillion live from UNN. Tonight, we're going to discuss the infamous Queen of Blades. Scientists and military insiders have long speculated that the enigmatic alien is, in fact, an infested human.
Yes.
That's right, Donnie. Is it possible that the leader of the Zerg has a human heart?
More importantly, Kate, could this mean some kind of Terran-Zerg alliance is possible?
Donnie, there's never been any evidence at all to suggest that infested humans retain their free will.
You make a good point, Kate. The question is then, how do we kill her?
That's one I think we all can agree on. If humanity is to survive, the Queen of Blades needs to be eliminated.
It's not exactly a point that you can argue, unfortunately. Not unless we were to learn something else, but the track record does not look good. Oh, and then there are the mercenaries.
For the right price.
It would probably the war pigs were really useful in this mission that we just did, so it might be useful to get some other kinds of mercenaries, but I don't want to do it right now. I might save that in reserve and maybe pick some up later, because it just seems like spending my money on other things is more valuable. But I don't know. I have to think about it. In the meanwhile, we can at least talk to some people in the lab and then see what we've got for our next mission.
That Zerg woman seemed to know you. She really rattled you, didn't she?
Me and her, well, we go back a ways. She was a ghost once. Back then, we were hooked up with Mengsk fighting to get rid of the old Confederacy. We made a pretty good team.
What happened to her?
She was a casualty of war. No offense, Doc, but I really don't like to talk about it.
I understand. If you ever change your mind, I'm here.
As I said, Mengsk left her to die. Raynor did try and go back and look for her, but she was already long gone by the time he could get there. And he mentioned that she was a Confederate ghost once. Confederate ghost. A ghost is kind of like a sniper, but the Protoss, particularly, some humans too, but the Protoss particularly have psychic abilities, or psionic abilities as you see it in this game, that include various things like telekinesis, teleportation even, and telepathy and other things like that. And in fact, Protoss technology is very much based around it. It's much stronger for them. They can cloak, they can teleport, they can do everything. Humans, it's very rare for any human to be able to do anything at all without augmentation. But with augmentation by technology, humans can do some things. And so one thing like the Protoss can do, certain Protoss keep themselves permanently cloaked. They're called Dark Templars. And the humans have a technology where for people who their psionic ability is particularly strong, and they are augmented properly, they can cloak temporarily. And so ghosts can do that, as well as a couple of other things. And they are basically enhanced snipers, genetically and surgically enhanced snipers. That's their role. And later we'll see there's even some more advanced kinds called specters that play kind of a side role in this story.
I've been hearing strange stories from the crew of late. Unexplained noises, strange visions, voices in the dark. Rumor has it these things are haunted.
Superstitious nonsense. These artifacts are completely inert and they're contained down here in the lab. There is some trace radiation, but I don't see how they could affect things elsewhere on the ship.
Heaven forbid we run across alien tech that messes with our primitive little monkey brains. Just keep a close eye on them, Doc.
Yeah, that's a fairly arrogant and stupid stance on her part. It's like these artifacts, whatever the heck they are, because they do not look Protoss, these artifacts are well above our knowledge of understanding. So you can't make any claims about that. I would be very worried, like Raynor is. Raynor's worried because he doesn't understand most of this stuff, but I mean, he knows at least what he doesn't understand. And she doesn't seem to have a good grasp of what she doesn't understand. And then we can look at the Zerg tank. There are a lot of little dialogue things we can read out. I'm not going to bother reading through all of them, but I think that I'd like to read through some of these scientific log entries, particularly just because I like them a lot. So this is one of the samples that we recovered from before, and as we keep getting more samples, I guess we keep adding it to this tank, and we get to see some of Stetman's observations. So, according to Stetman, the recovered Zerg sample is still growing. I introduced a protein solution, might have been a mistake. At the cellular level, the sample shows strains of every known Zerg creature, and many other strains that I don't recognize. It will take a while to map it all, but I've already begun extracting data from an Ultralisk cell, and I found a spore crawler cell that yielded data on its instinctive threat recognition routines. So this is giving us some idea of what he is starting to develop. So he said he's extracting data from an Ultralisk cell and some stuff from a spore crawler. Spore crawler is an anti-air defense, much like our missile turret, only it's not splash against air. In other words, it can only single target things. So, the Ultralisk cell, if we read the description more carefully for the bunker upgrade, we would have found that the increased health that we ended up taking came from studying Ultralisk hides and their armor. And the turret would have mentioned something similar about coming from spore crawlers, if we bothered to go back and read it. But I won't take up too much time on that. So now I think we've seen everything there is to see pretty much at the moment. And so let's have a look at what missions are available now. Okay, so no new missions are available. We just have Meinhof and Redstone 3, which again are basically Meinhof is where all of the survivors are going from various evacuated worlds, but they've got some kind of infestation going on, and they need help. We don't really know much more about it than that at the moment until we actually take the mission. And we've got Redstone 3, where a mysterious guy named Gabriel Tosh has contacted us and said that there are minerals here to be harvested, but it's very difficult, so some enterprising people could make a small fortune by mining the expensive minerals there and selling them. And if we want a piece of the action, we can meet him there. So in the next episode, we will decide which of these two we want to go to first, and we shall do the mission accordingly. But I'm well out of time for this episode, actually. It's been quite a long one. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Oh look, by repeatedly spam clicking everything, I get monkeys.
I'm pretty sure that there's a monster back there.
Oh, he's right there! Oh, God, I ran the wrong way! I ran the wrong way!
Oh. That could have saved me. Oh, I can drive right now.